I've covered so many horror franchises over the years, but one that kept slipping past my radar was the Brotherhood. Um, I know that it's a bit more obscure, but there was a point in time where they were just all over the video store shelves, so I figured it was worth like a look and check out and see if it has any sort of timeline, continuity, or close. Everything got brotherly back in 2001 with The Brotherhood, directed by low-budget legend David DeCattiu, who had previously brought you Sorority Babes in the Slime Ball Bolorama, Puppet Master 3, and Creepazoids. There's a college campus, and a frat pledge has died, and we meet our lead, Chris, played by Sam Page in one of his earliest roles before going on to be in Mad Men and House of Cards. There's this frat called Doma Tau Omega that's the top in the school, and I think this was 2001's idea of like the cool kids or something. Well, they see Chris doing some really prolonged stretching, and the head of them is Bradley Stryker, who also went on to show up in, well, pretty much every single TV show since 2001. Chris and his new roommate, Sam, share their inner secrets with each other.
Do you like her? Well, let's just say I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers, okay? Even if my dog's name is Crackers.
Let me get this straight. You walk into a room. There's a girl in your bed. She's just killed and devoured your pet dog in your house. And you're like, hey, stick around. My man, there's more women out there. And then Devin tries to lure in Chris to the frat. I think. He jabs his hand and then drinks his blood and makes him do the same. And Chris starts acting jerky. Sam finds the frat book and... Oh, hold on. Their name is Doma Tau Omega, but Doma isn't a Greek letter. And the symbol that they actually use is Delta. Doma is a Greek word that means house, which is fine, I get that, but then why use the delta there? Sam discovers pictures of Devin, very poorly photoshopped into pics from 1916, 1968, 1945, and he makes sure to tap all the important parts, you know, as you do. There's more pic from 92 and then finally 2000, so it's likely that was last year's photo, and since this is a new school year, I suppose this is probably fall of 2000. Then Chris, oh man, starts wearing this outfit, and it's revealed that the frat members are vampires, and also reveals their tidy whities. Devin has to transfer his soul into a new body every 100 years, and if he dies, all the vamps die. And Sam says that the pics went back to 1900, so that confirms the 2000 date. They begin the ritual, making sure to get their shirts off.
I lay claim on thy soul, and let me empty you.
Ritual. Meg is a double-crosser, but they manage to axe Devin, and the frat dies. Oddly enough, the sequel was released at the same time, and also in 2001 was the Brotherhood II, Young Warlocks, also from Dakota. We're at a new school and meet our new crew of dudes, some sans shirts of course, and our main character John, played by Sean Ferris, who would also go on to do a ton of TV, including Pretty Little Liars. There's sort of the unpopular kids at the school, and John is wooing Mary here. And the douche guys haze Marcus.
The doors are locked. Nobody's gonna be in here for hours. I made sure of it.
Haze. New student Luke lures in the guys by going swimming and hanging out like a foot from each other. And you know, the first film was subtle. Like there was just a little more focus on the male characters. But for the most part, it just felt like any low-budget flick from that area, like with a subtle gay subtext. But this one heads more into text territory. Like they're in a pool in their undies, and this guy promises them power, but one guy has to lick his face. So DeCattiu is being upfront here about what the aim is. They start doing their hair all emo and wearing dark glasses and killing the rival frat and worshipping this thing that looks like the idol from the Hawaiian Brady Bunch episode. And the license plate shows a registration sticker for 2001. So that's probably our year here. And unlike the first movie, Luke's not a vampire, and instead, like the title says, is a young warlock. To complete their ritual, they need to claim 3 more souls while sitting around in their gutchies. And you know, the funny thing is that of course these are billed as homoerotic thrillers, but I should point out that the only sex scene is with a woman, even if it's still immensely gay-centric. And one of the students seduces a teacher before killing her. So even though it's clearly shot for a male gaze, the script is still a pretty standard thriller. There's a face-off, including their teacher, who reveals herself to be a witch. But John stabs Luke, and he gets taken to hell, and his friends are restored. So I guess they're forgiven for killing people? There's no date here, and no connection to the first film, so let's just say real-time 2001 because of that license plate. 2 years later, the series continued with 03's The Brotherhood III, Young Demons. So now we've moved from vampires to warlocks to, I guess, now demons. The opening gives us 2 guys who say every line like this.
I don't think we triggered the alarm.
The alarm? Great time to tell me about there being an alarm.
All schools have an alarm system.
Great.
As they wander through an empty building, stalked by a hooded figure. It's another new school, and they're setting things up for a sword and sorcery game, and we meet our random collection of kids, with our main guy, Roger. And I think he's meant to be a jock kind of guy, but he does not come across that way. And this guy was on an archaeological dig, and I guess found this book that looks in remarkably good condition. And they just let the student have it. There's that mysterious masked figure stalking people, and when I say stalking, I mean following people around for these really long stretches of the runtime. And then this guy was just, I don't want to make fun of the guy, but he says every line while smiling. Every line. Every line. They start the game, and of course this guy gets dirty, so he has to take a shower in his chonies. Turns out that the game is a little too real, and there's even more really drawn out scenes of walking around hallways with a strobe light flickering. And when I say drawn out, I mean really drawn out, to the point where about 60% of this movie is walking down flashing corridors. I wish that was a number that I was just throwing out there, but it's actually damn accurate. And he's still smiling. Come on, dude. You're in the Brotherhood III. There's not so much to be freaking cheerful about. And nope. Still smiling. So the game is real, and the demon was called up from the book and attacks the kids, turning them into zombie things.
Makeup's a little too convincing.
Is it though? And yep, still smiling, even while running away from demons. And does this guy look like a real life good guy doll? Turns out that Lex, the kid that was given the book, intervenes and sends the demons back. There's no date here, and again, no connection to the others, so let's just say 03 to keep it in real time. And this one's hard to watch from a movie standpoint because there's really no story at all. And even if you're watching this for the exploitation aspect, there's hardly any of that either. There's like one scene that lingers on Shower Guy, and that's it. I will point out that one of the hieroglyphs in the book looks suspiciously dongish, though. 2 more years passed, and in 2005, the next chapter arrived with the Brotherhood IV, The Complex. I did not rip this off. It begins immediately with tighty-whitey action, so you just know that Takato is still behind the wheel, and it's another new school. And yeah, it seems like none of these are gonna connect to each other. But it's Christmas time, and a military academy in which the cadets have a secret society called the Black Skulls. And they induct Charles in his grundles. It began in 1778, and they formed a brotherhood, and the induction involves some stock special effect lightning. Then Lee here is starting school there and is a new cadet, and the Skull Boys have their eyes on him. So this is a while after the opening. If there's Christmas stuff up, would he be starting there at like the tail end of the semester? Unless it's January and they're starting the spring semester and they just haven't taken the tree down yet? Robert's here too, also in his undies, but may not be exactly what you're looking for if you come to these movies to gawk at half-naked dudes. I mean, he's grunting as he curls with these, 5-pound dumbbells? He says that Charles went missing last week, so it's a week after the intro, and says that the Skulls go on to be the elites of society. When they're investigating his disappearance...
Thanos is a suspect?
Oh no! His plan is to eliminate half of all men's clothing in the universe. Well, actually, Victor Thanos is the leader of the Skulls, and when this guy is tapped to become a member, is it just me, or does he look like a deep discount Nicholas Hoult right here? And after a history lesson, of course, that has to strip down. And there's that lightning again. And he's now a member of the Skulls and has to wear their trademark outfit. There's then an extended hot tub scene, of course with a guy in white undies, because men only wear one specific type of underpants in this universe, and some prolonged toweling off. But when Lee tries to uncover the truth of the Skulls, he finds a shrine to the pirates that started the Black Skulls. And is that the Dalai Lama? And let me get this straight. This secret society is over 200 years old, and their alumni list fits on one Word doc. There's some stickers on the door here from the Chamber of Commerce, and the latest one appears to be from 1999, so this one is past that. And yep, more white briefies. But lo and behold, when Lee is seduced over to the dark side, what is this? Black underwear? Takatu is truly changing the game here and branching out into new aspects of film. There's a more obvious gay focus here, and the film almost veers into being more blatant, but then they switch it up at the last minute to have the female character involved, because I suppose they still had to pretend like it's subtext only. Turns out that they worship a succubus, and they're vessels for her acolytes, and Lee uses a handy sword to stab one of them, which seems to affect all of them, and he goes to blow up the shrine. He's also betrayed because it turns out that their leader is the true succubus and leader of the group, but he's able to get away and detonate the bomb, destroying the Skulls, and then decides to go after the alumni. No visible date with this one, so let's just say real-time 2005. There was a 4-year break, and the next entry showed up in 2009 with the Brotherhood V alumni. And the opening gives us our main characters by showing their yearbook information. And it's yet another new school. This time, Sunnydale. And what? Come on. Sunnydale High School? Everyone knows that was blown up back in 1999 to kill that giant snake thing. Pfft. And then it's around prom time too. So someone's about to get a class protector award. And I think that this guy is supposed to be a geeky guy, but he's clearly just a handsome fella with glasses and some quirky mannerisms. But there's someone else there, someone with a knife. This guy's supposed to be meeting someone there, but before he finds them, you guessed it, underpants, and then showers in the school at night with the lights off, because why not? But make sure you get those abs super clean, my dude. Wash them like 10 times, but make sure to not use soap and just rub your hands on them repeatedly. He's then killed, and it was supposed to be a joke, but it looks like someone took it a little too literally and also filmed it. And they take a pledge to not tell the cops. But why? There's nothing to implicate you. They're like, what are we going to tell the cops about why we're here? Just send the tapes in anonymously or something. There's nothing to implicate you. It then jumps a year, and they're all called back to the school by mysterious notes that tell them someone knows their secret. So, yeah, we're doing that plot line. I guess it's a break from the whole secret society that's actually supernatural beings that we've been doing for the past 4 movies. They do all enter the school and have to try to locate where the tape is, but Masked Man with Knife is on hand as well. But first, another soapless shower that is nearly entirely focused on washing the abdominal region. Then the killings start up, and then this series finally takes a turn. After 4 entries of teasing homoeroticism, they finally have an actual gay love scene. A scene that culminates in the 2 gentlemen, of course, in their underwear. But surprisingly, only one is in tighty-whities. The killings continue with some red herrings thrown around, and it turns out that Holden was framed for the crime and went to jail for it, but escaped and is getting revenge. But Amy fights back, causing him to run after her like this? What kind of run is this? They face off and Holden is killed, so Amy just randomly confesses to the whole thing, saying she set up the prank on Leslie in the beginning and she killed him accidentally. But it turns out that Leslie was actually Randall's half-brother, and he actually killed him, but set everyone up for all this, and now that he had Amy on camera saying that she did it, his perfectly ridiculously convoluted plan is complete. But if Holden had already been framed for the crime and was in jail for it, then why the hell did he need someone else to confess for it? And considering that all the forensic evidence on site would probably not match with Amy's information, that tape would likely not be very permissible. All she have to do is say the guy filming me forced me to say that, and they would match up the stab angles and details to find out that he was secretly related to the original victim, and it would be a pretty easy case to make. But there's also no date visible, so let's just say real-time 09 again. Our final entry came 1 day later, also in 2009, with the Brotherhood VI initiation. And literally 10 seconds into the movie, we get spanking and underpants. But then it's 4 years later, and this guy shows up for what he says is an initiation.
You guys can do whatever you want to me. I'm ready for anything.
Hey man, this is a Brotherhood movie. Just get into your underwear now and save yourself some time. He wanders around for like 10 minutes, and they occasionally show a guy in a mask with an axe, and it finally kills him. A little while later, an entire Hollister catalog shows up, and they say that the place that they're staying was a summer camp back in the 80s, and then was owned by a lumberjack and his family. They say that it's time to begin initiation, and if you suspect that this was going to involve stripping down to underwears, then you are fully aware of what franchise we're watching. The car here has a license plate sticker that expires sometime in 09, so that may be our year here, and they start the pledging. It involves a blood ritual that we don't even get to see because this movie's too cheap for even basic special effects, and then they have to get kindling for a fire. And why do they have to be in their underwear for this again? They run into a random woman out there, and Axeman starts doing his stuff. They say that a pledge went missing a few years ago, meaning the intro scene, but then they say that it's been 3 years, even though the title card said 4. Meanwhile, that girl in the woods is just randomly trying to hook up with anyone, but she also gets the chop. But first, showers with no soap! And yeah, I guess initiation means that everyone always has to be just in manties. It finally comes down to 2 guys, and they face off with Axeman, and I should point out that anyone attacked by him simply has a little bit of blood on them, with no visible wounds, because money.
There's nothing wrong with me. Not physically.
Yeah, we could tell. Turns out that 3 years ago, the missing dude was this dude's brother, and he wants to end initiation, and the axe guy is the missing John. So like, instead of him just appearing and revealing what had been done to him so that the responsible guys went to jail, he just hid up there for 3 years, and they planned this whole revenge thing to kill off other people? Huh. Kevin manages to get stabbed though, but it's just a dream. And John is missing, and Kevin gets blamed for the murders. And he says that John is still out there. And again, no clear date. So that license plate says that we're in 09 again. So here's something different, because it's technically not part of the franchise, but it also kinda is. And it's 2004's The Sisterhood, a sort of companion piece to the Brotherhood, and also by Dokoto. We have a woman being chased by a man in a mask with glowing eyes, and she's killed. Then we have Agent Harcourt on her way to a new school, and color me envious, but her teacher is none other than Meg Halsey. And in the middle of her class on paranormal activity, a marker writes Christine's name up on the board, which freaks her out a bit. We find out that her parents died a few months ago in a car crash, and she spent all of her insurance payout on college tuition. And today is also her birthday. Oh, and her eyes glow. She shows some psychic abilities, so she's told to check out one of the sororities to help figure out what's going on there. They're called the Bats, Beta Alpha Tau, get it? The professor thinks that something was up there that caused the death of that girl from the intro, and she gets invited to join, and right away, there's some girl-on-girl action. She starts a relationship with Josh, and they both claim that they're virgins, and the sisters lure her into the dark side of college sororities. You know, kissing girls. Her class talks about vampire legends and how their victims have to submit to them first, and Christine shows off her powers and starts to slack off of her classes. Soon, though, Josh shows up in all black as well, now under the evil influence, which just translates to wearing black with his shirt open and dark sunglasses. It's revealed that Devin, the head of the Bats, is immortal, and Ms. Masters is part of the bloodline trying to stop her. And also, that Devin killed Christine's birth parents, and there's one day of the year that she can be stopped, and it's coming up. The initiation night arrives, which involves foursome action, although that just consists of standing next to each other and not doing much. And Josh gets involved, getting tied up, and everyone does the deed. The night of the big ceremony arrives, and they're all vampires, and Masters is a vampire hunter, and Christine has to choose sides, and she chooses good. So Devin gets staked, and the girls start their own club. No dates are shown in this one, and it also has no connection to any of the others, so it's in real-time 2004. So there you have it, a whole bunch of movies with absolutely no continuity. None of these connect into each other, and I know that this may seem weird, but come on, I've done videos at the beach. You've seen me in a swimming suit. This is not any different. But yeah, these movies are not really that great, but they are fun. I mean, they're pretty entertaining trash for what they are. And definitely, if you like to see attractive guys in underpants, this movie, like this series, is made for you. That's what this whole franchise is about. But they are fun. I mean, they remind me very much of that late 90s, early 2000s straight to video thriller thing that was happening. The plots are pretty standard for that kind of stuff, and they're entertaining. I enjoyed watching them. They're fun stuff. Let me know if you've seen these at all. Let me know if you are interested in these whatsoever. Tell me in the comments down below. Let me know if you like this video by giving it a thumbs up. Let me know if you enjoy the channel by subscribing to it and hitting the bell to get notified when new ones go up. Also, check out my Patreon page, patreon.com/movietimelines. You can help me buy clothes. Next time I'll be wearing some.